A hearty welcome to everybody. Have a great night with music, poetry, images on the topic of love. It's a big topic. Welcome to the Meditate Anytime series of unconditional love. A word we may just use, a phrase we may just use like that. Maybe let's dig a little deeper today what this could mean. My name is Sia. I meditate since the 90s. I'm a mom of three children, three teenagers, and I contribute with music to these evenings. Some of you have probably met before, and if you're new, then welcome. Welcome to our meditation. This week is a little different. This week we do not, maybe less of explaining, more of meditating and more music. And what you just heard was the beautiful, beautiful flute of Abhishek, Indian flute from Abhishek, played by Abhishek yesterday in the series. So if you missed it, if you missed any of the evenings, Monday, Sujata, Tuesday, our wonderful girls from Chicago. If you missed any of the music and you want to hear it, then go on our website or go to the YouTube channel and look at all the past live concerts and enjoy those meditations again. Today's day 4, and I have planned to play classical piano for you. No, I am not a pianist. I am a piano and violin teacher, but I'm not what I would call a pianist. So please excuse my mistakes because they will be there. But it's not about the perfect playing. It's about really feeling, really feeling. Today's about feeling what the music can convey. And I'm actually very excited about this. And the topic of love is probably based on the fact that Valentine's Day was on the 14th now. Personally, I'm not a big fan because I'm not a big fan of days where we suddenly remember something we should remember every single day. And I believe when we celebrate love, then there shouldn't be people who feel left out, right? There shouldn't be people who actually have a specifically hard time on days like Valentine's Day or days like Christmas. Those should not be days at all where people feel more lonely. I didn't get a bouquet. I didn't get chocolates. Is it really about that? Is it really about that? Or is it a, maybe a time in our lives where we just introspect and see where this eternal love is and how we can plug into it and how we can make it stay and how we can never ever let go. So tonight, I'm playing music from the romantic period, and this is really funny because you may think this is going to be all about romance, and it's it's not really. I don't know. Romantic period in classical music is maybe a little bit ill-fitted the name because it's not all about romance. Now, I have studied music, and I'm not telling you things now from the books, but I'm telling you things of what I feel and what I've encountered listening and playing classical music from the Romantic period, which was after the classical, we say after the classical period, Haydn, Beethoven, Mozart. Then the Romantics took over. Now, I may elaborate on this a little bit because once I get started with the music and poetry, I'm not going to do much explaining, but just to get you a little bit in the topic, the Romantic period in music really meant a little bit breaking those shackles, a little bit rattling those conditionings, those forms, these shapes that were set, and say, let's go a little beyond. There was the invention of the piano forte, which means soft, loud, really in Italian, that suddenly gave more options in dynamics. That means play loud, play soft. And there were different desires. We want to, in that time period, explore feelings. We want to find out how does it sound if I put feelings into my music. Now, obviously, there are pieces that will transport us a little bit to the left side, make us sad, and that might transport to the right side and make us over agitated. That can be. But I believe that there was definitely a very strong desire to find emotions, to find feelings and connections in the music. And that doesn't have to be a bad thing at all. Not at all. Breaking the shackles, going a little bit out of the ordinary, trying things. Also a period where we want to explore nature. We want to paint pictures and images with music, through music. We may find the flute being used for bird sounds, or how do I express in an orchestra a water sound, a forest sound? So the composers had ideas like this. And as you know, in architecture and painting, all these things reflected as well. There was this seeking for the nature and how to express this. And we know later on the impressionists and the expressionists, the impression, I see something, it has an effect on me. And how do I see it? And then I paint an image that doesn't look like a photograph, but it looks like what I see. It could have different colors. It could be faded anyway. You know, impressionists and their paintings. And then the expressionists thought, I feel something and now I'm expressing myself. And that some of it looks absolutely maybe distorted or crazy for somebody who doesn't understand what this person's feeling. Anyway, there's so many different angles where art goes into all sorts of different directions. But tonight, let us feel the music. I selected a couple of images. The idea is to make us put our attention on our heart, to put our attention on different qualities of the heart chakra, the heart energy center, and also with poetry to feel. Now, this image, I would like to very briefly explain the picture of Sri Mataji here. She's the founder of Sahaja Yoga, and there are photographs that we refer to as miracle photographs because they are things that our naked eye could not see, but the camera picks it up. And this particular photograph shows this radiance on the heart. And if you meditate and you hold your hands to the photograph, you may feel a cool breeze on your hands. So let us all begin our meditation by placing our hands open on our lap and getting into a meditative mood, into a calm state. Closing our eyes maybe for a moment. All through the slideshow, all through the music, you're always welcome to close your eyes. Put your attention inside. Meditate. Meditate means to be thoughtless. We can keep our hands open to see what we feel. If there is a cool breeze, we call them vibrations. And that's good. Sometimes there may be warmth coming. Then maybe something is already working out. Let us just be very patient tonight. Very patient and very loving towards ourselves. In our subtle center, the heart center is also represented on top of our head. So actually, the Sahasrara chakra, we can see that on the next slide. The Sahasrara chakra is actually connected to the heart. Now we can live without a lot of organs, but we can never live without the heart. And if I have an open heart, I have an open Sahasrara, which is this crown chakra. And again, today I will not go into details. Please visit any other classes that we do 3 times a day to go deeper and learn more about these energy centers. But today, have attention on top of your head and on your heart. And they're connected. Feel this connection between an open heart and an open crown center that gives us this yoga, which means this union. And maybe we can feel already a little bit of a cool breeze coming out of our head. So throughout the program, keep your attention always, always here on top of your head. Truth is in your Sahasrara. And when the truth comes in, you're surprised that truth is love and love is truth. Pure love. Srimati Nirmala Devi. Being deeply loved by someone gives you strength, while loving someone deeply gives you courage. Lao Tse. So we can put a hand on our heart, and let's feel this courage. Maybe in our center heart. So in the center of our heart center, here lies our courage. So let us meditate on this quality of the heart center of courage and confidence, but also full sincerity. We can also take a deep breath and hold it. Go thoughtless. Put attention on courage and then breathe out. So do this in your own pace. And I shall play a piece by Robert Schumann, The Poet Speaks. Love is weak when there is more doubt than there is trust. But love is most strong when you learn to trust, even with all the doubts. If a thing loves, it is infinite. William Blake, a British poet. Let us have our attention now on our left heart, with the right hand on the left heart. And this time, let's have our attention on the quality of sweetness of the heart. The sweetness, the compassion, but at the same time, complete simplicity. Simplicity, childlike simplicity. It is easy to hate and is difficult to love. This is how the whole scheme of things works. All good things are difficult to achieve, and all bad things are very easy to get. Confucius. Love does not grow on trees or brought in the market, but if one wants to be loved, one must first know how to give unconditional love. Kabir. So let us now listen to a short excerpt of a speech of Shrimati.
If your heart is clean, you can see the other person clearly through and through. Innocence is such a powerful thing that even a glance is sufficient to kill a Satan. Purity of heart. Actually, when the heart becomes impure, the impurity flows down to other places. It is not the other way round. It is from the heart. Many people believe that it's the body that becomes impure. I think it is the heart which becomes really impure, and then it starts trickling down to the body, and then it is residual there, it settles down there. So have a clean, open heart like a child's heart. Open heart. What is there to be afraid of anyone? What is there not to trust anyone? What is there to be angry with anyone? Talk to everyone, shake hands with everyone. Be nice to everyone. On the way you find somebody's difficulty, give him a hand. If somebody cannot sit properly or has a problem, you try to remove the problem. If the person cannot stand, give the place. Try to give from your clean heart. If your heart is not clean, it can never give.
You may see in this photograph another miracle photograph. And if I'm not completely mistaken, it's taken in the Royal Albert Hall in England in 92. And this Sri Mataji there in the corner, you can see. And again, I don't want to say something wrong because this is very long time ago that I heard this. But I think Sri Mataji said that these are open hearts. So we know the shape of a heart, and these are open hearts. So maybe we can feel that with our vibrations. So let us meditate on our open heart. And I will read you a poem by a very dear friend of mine. Now, he married my best friend, who they're both from Austria. And when I came to Sahaja Yoga, she was literally the first girl in my age I met. And we're still great friends. And he's called Walter Lerchner. He's a great scientist. And this beautiful balance of being a scientist and then at the same time a poet, just like Einstein, really, right? So, the soldier of love. I am a soldier of love, not the stupid kind of love, but intelligent love. The love that understands, the love that cares, the love that wants to help evolving. The mother has given me weapons for my war of love. She has given me forgiveness, not the tolerant and accepting kind of forgiveness, but forgiveness which is sincere, forgiveness that does correct, forgiveness which frees the heart to love, frees the heart to speak. She has given me the gift of knowledge, not the knowledge gained from books or universities, but knowledge from experiences, knowledge grown from observation, knowledge which gives benevolence, knowledge that opens up the mind. But most of all, she has given me a heart with courage. Courage to love without the need for recognition. Courage to forgive without the fear of tolerating wrong. Courage to understand the needs of others. Courage to speak the truth. At this time, I'm still in training for my war of love. My weapons still need honing, my marksmanship improvement. My heart has still to grow. My mind needs still expanding. But the battle plan is laid. The purpose of the war is clear. Humanity needs to be conquered with love, forgiveness, and with knowledge. Humanity needs to be conquered to gain freedom for the hearts and minds and souls. I would like to play the Cradle Song by Robert Schumann. And this time we put our attention on the quality of protection. Such an important quality here. And we know this feeling, or we maybe don't know this feeling, of how it feels to feel protected in our childhood, in the cradle, and later on by a mother on our mother's hand. But even if we haven't felt this in our lives, we can feel it now inside in our meditation, because this mother is internal, she's in us, in the form of the Mother Kundalini, who gives us all these qualities that we find in Walter's poem. But also, what she gives us, most importantly, is protection.
So we come to the point of joy. To enjoy something, just don't do it in a way that is superficial. Then there is another thing which is one should not confuse is emotional. Emotional is not also on the, supposing somebody, a person now goes on singing, ha, ha, hoo, like madcap. See, that's not the way. Emotional also I do not mean. What I am meaning in the center, where there is a kind of a gesture which is balanced between emotions and understanding. That is really coming from the heart. For example, the other day I went for a program, you know that, you were all there, Andheri. And then I went away to that place where you were. I was with you for some time, then you all went away, I stayed on. And a lady came and just put both her hands around my neck, you see, and she just hugged me. And everybody was angry there. What do you mean by doing that? That is not to be done. While others have greater respect, get greater love for me, but they won't do that. So it is not emotional exuberance of things the way people do sometimes, like a serenade, you go on playing. That's not needed. What is needed is not romanticism, again, if to make it very clear. It's not romanticism expression, it's not romanticism. That's another kind of a emotional artificiality. And next day after that romance, one goes for the divorce. It's so artificial. You see, like many men who are supposed to be ladies' men and many women who are supposed to be gentlemen's ladies, they are very good at it. But it is very, very artificial. It's very cheap and it's useless, never joyful. And even if you are emotionally too much involved into something, then you cannot get joy also, because then it becomes like this, that you become possessive of the person. That my mother, you must come to my room. Mother, I must sit next to you. If somebody is sitting 2 feet away, then he is feeling jealous of the person who is sitting 1 foot away from him. So this, what I am trying to say, even the emotional exuberance is not reality. Reality is where you really enjoy the relationship. So one side is absolute brass, what you call the rationality, artificiality. The another side is this emotional blackmail, I call it. So both the things must be done with that dignity, with that depth. And that depth if you have, then you do things which do not look cheapish or frivolous, but look very deep and have an effect which is very deep and lasts longer.
So once again, let's put our hand on our heart. Let's ask for those qualities, for this depth, for this true feeling of emotion and love, and not the fake, superficial one. Let us become very deep personalities that don't latch on and cling onto things and people, but in a very detached, yet very loving way. Let me read a poem by a Sahaja yogi from Scotland. His name is Ian Bremner. He's a lovely person and he's writing poem after poem, and I wrote to him literally today. I said, do you have a poem for me for love? And there it is. Where's There No Other by Ian Bremner. Love without ego, love without fear. love with one outcome, bringing God near. Love of your neighbor, love of your friend. Love without limit, love without end. Love without effort, love without shame. Love with no answer, love with no name. Love with no hero, love beyond pain. Love with no reason, love with no gain. Love as a mother to a child's need, where there's no other, no lust or greed. Living forbearance, innocence, joy. There's no desolation this can't destroy. Loveless, we're dying. Through love, we thrive. Into each moment with love alive. Thank you, Ian and Walter, for sharing these poems with us. We're almost at the end. Now this is my hardest piano piece. I really hope I don't make so many mistakes. But it's just us. So here I just want to elaborate a little bit, because there is a speech excerpt which I clearly seem to have missed. Don't know, where did it go? About the moon and the ocean. Next time I'm going to play that. Shimadiji talking about the connection of the moon and the ocean, and how this attraction of the moon makes the tides come in and out. So the connection between the moon and the ocean. And me, little Sia, was thinking, I mean, the moon, the left side, the female, and the ocean that we sometimes refer to as the grandfather ocean, right? The grandfather ocean, so more a male aspect. And in this piece that I'm going to play in the prelude by Frédéric Chopin, I don't know, when I was playing this piece, I found it really interesting how the left hand leads. The left hand means the lower notes, and the lower notes are usually more the accompaniment, and the melody is very often in the right hand and the higher notes. So if you were to sing a choir, you would know that the man voices are lower, obviously, and the female voices are higher. So that's how we split into the choir, right? Into the melody. But here the melody lies in the left hand. And the melody, in my opinion, sounds like a wave. It sounds like an ocean wave that comes and goes. And like every wave that comes and goes, it comes literally, the hands are coming closer to each other. So the wave comes up to the shore, right? Or to the moon, and then dies down again. And then it comes up and again, like a mini creation and a mini dying. It's always a creation, a being born and dying and being born. So the cycle of creation, the cycle of life over and over and over. And then from the beginning to the piece, to the end of the piece, another cycle of a creation that comes and dies away. But in a beauty, nothing sad, in beauty. So let me play this last prelude. But this time we put our attention on this beautiful balance that we have in our system between our right and left side. Because it is a phenomenon, isn't it? How they have to work beautifully together. I don't know if you know the yin and yang symbol, how they're waved, so beautifully curved together, how one ties into the other. And also that little dot where we have the male and the female in the male, where they're all connected, but they're working together to make a whole. And even though when we meditate sometimes, what's wrong with my left side? What's wrong with my right side? But both of them working together in this beautiful harmony is what makes us us. And we want to celebrate our right side and left side qualities, both of them beautifully working together to make us these human beings that we are, these yogis, right? So this is the prelude in B minor. And then, yeah, let's see what happens then. And we end this part of our meditation in complete silence. I will play a little bit of ocean sound. That's it. Just a little bit of silence. So keep your hands open and enjoy just a moment of silence. And I'd like to leave you with a tiny little bit of a story. It's interesting sometimes how we remember certain things, certain little things. And talking about school now. So in my school days, there was a specific moment in physics class that has never ever left my attention. And that was when my physics teacher was explaining light and colors. And he put all the colors in form of, I think, transparent paper, maybe silk paper, over each other. And if you put all the colors over each other, it made black. And then he did the same on an overhead projector, a light machine that we used to have in those days. And all these transparent red, green, all the colors he put over each other, and the end result was plain light. And that never left me. I thought it is just unbelievable. And maybe we understand, yeah, light breaks into different colors, that's a rainbow. But if you think of it, how all colors together make light. White light. So I was thinking, what if all the music notes and all the frequencies together make silence? Wouldn't it be the equivalent rather to noise, which would be maybe black? So all the notes and all the music, all the frequencies, everything together, we would think is, oh, noise. What if it makes silence? So I don't know. It's just a little train of thought I had there. And the reason why I thought of that is there's so much depth in silence. It's not emptiness. There's not nothingness. But everything is in the silence. And I'm leaving you with that. So we're not going to have a Q&A, but maybe we all find a little bit of silence in our lives. So have a lovely night. I'm sorry for all those wonderful mistakes I did on the piano. I will practice. And join us for the other evenings this week. Keep meditating and see you soon.